We're now streaming. We're live.
We're live on my thing. I don't see it. Hello,
It
everybody.
says we are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the House of Online Marketing. I'm Darlene, and I am here today with Ali Sievewright, the amazing and beautiful Ali Sievewright. Ali is an intuitive manifestation coach and Reiki master teacher. So, Ali, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Such an honor, such a privilege.
This is so exciting. So tell everybody who you are, Ali. What is your background? How did you come to this place in your entrepreneurial journey? Give us a little bit of background.
Oh, well, so my entrepreneurial journey as a holistic healer started 21 years ago. I was in college. I was going down the kind of the typical path. I left college my junior year because I struggled with anxiety and depression. And this kind of led me down this long road of spiritual awakening, which actually turned that pain into purpose, because it led me to this whole world of mind, body, spirit healing, holistic healing, energy healing, Reiki specifically. So I went from, always believing that I was going to be a psychologist and help people heal through talk to now switching gears and helping people through touch and the power of, releasing trauma in the tissues essentially, and really helping people to get in touch with their intuition and to wherever their soul was calling them. And at that time, the anxiety, the depression was kind of a manifestation of struggle inside, and being in a place of being out of the house and then having to kind of look at, well, who am I and what are my beliefs, versus what are the beliefs that have been handed down to me. So, I started as an esthetician and a Reiki master, and just a few years into my practice, there was a misalignment for me because I was making a lot of money. I was doing really well. I was at, what some people would say kind of the top of my game, if you will, but something didn't feel right to me inside, as I was working for somebody else, and their values and their core beliefs weren't lining up with mine. And so as a young 22-year-old, that is when I started my own business. I went out on my own. I wanted to basically be in charge of my own destiny. I didn't want anybody telling me how to offer my services, or I wanted to do it with 100% authenticity and in a way that felt good for me and was in service to my clients. And so that's really kind of where the journey began, but it evolved over time. And, again, there were many points in my journey that there have felt like, what I used to do wasn't lighting me up so much, or my intuition, that voice inside was saying, there's more for you to do. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to serve in a bigger way. And with each of those levels, if you will, I sort of went through that internal struggle, which happened before the breakthrough that brought me to the next phase, if you will. And so, I found myself after 10 years in business, taking care of everybody else, putting all my needs aside, just working mad amounts of hours, not seeing my family, not being present at home, really being very out of balance with my work life and my home life. And, as a result, physically, I fell very ill and was actually disabled and was not able to do my work. And leading up to that point, there were signs looking back that I was on the wrong path, that it was time to change course, but I didn't want to listen to them. So universe, God, whatever you believe in, makes things happen for a reason. I got on the right path. I found a way to serve people, to leverage my time and network marketing. And now I'm at this point where, my true passion is empowering other healers, other coaches, other entrepreneurs to really step into their gifts
Yeah.
and do what they came here to do. So that's kind of where I know it seemed long, but very short version of my journey.
Yeah, no, I can relate to, and I think a lot of people listening could relate to your story. I want to backtrack just a little bit. You said something that really, like, I really connected with, and that was like you felt this misalignment. You were feeling burnt out, you were feeling
Yeah.
misaligned, you weren't lit up, yet you were going through the motions, doing all the things.
Yes.
You were burnt out, and
Yeah.
then the results of that, right?
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what of what happened to you. And I think there's so many people listening right now that can relate to that, to a certain extent. I know I
Yeah.
went through a phase where I was feeling called to something else, feeling misaligned, like I was ready for something and I didn't know what that thing was, you know?
Yeah, and it's also that the business structure that I had created wasn't
Mm-hmm.
aligned with the lifestyle that I wanted. So in
Yeah.
order for me to have more money, make more money, I had to see more clients, which meant
Yeah.
putting in more hours,
Mm-hmm.
which meant more hours away from the family, and then feeling that pull and then being exhausted when I got home and not wanting to connect. And so I had to find a way to leverage my time
Yeah.
to earn more money without putting more hours in.
Yeah.
And that's really what lights me up now is just showing entrepreneurs how they can have massive impact
Mm-hmm.
without being burnt out, without being drained and having to sacrifice other areas of their life.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a passion of mine.
Yeah, yeah, and it's something that I think anybody in the entrepreneurial world can relate to that, for sure. So I'd love to kind of transition to how you and I connected, and what you're doing now, the creation of the program that you created, how that came to be, and
Yeah.
what it means to sell from the soul.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I noticed very early on in my journey as sales to me never really felt like sales. It felt like an extension of what I was doing. So when I started as an esthetician, there was a lot of pressure in the spas to make sales and make your quotes. And
Mm-hmm.
I always put that aside. I didn't think about that. To me, it was always about, okay, somebody's coming in, they have a problem, they have acne. I can give them a facial once a week or whatever. But how could I not send them home with what they need to do in between? I would be doing them a disservice. They wouldn't be getting the best results. So to
Right.
me, I always looked at it as an extension of what I was doing in servicing the client and putting their needs first. And I always had this philosophy that as long as I put their needs first,
Mm-hmm.
as a result, abundance would come to me because they would trust me more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it was always about leading from the heart. But what I found was in leading a team of estheticians in the spa is that many people were looking at sales as something that was slimy or uncomfortable or dirty or felt like there had to be manipulation involved. And as a
Yeah.
result, not only were they not creating that abundance through sales, they weren't getting
Mm-hmm.
their clients the best results. And
Yeah.
so what I've found is in working with heart-based entrepreneurs is that we have this idea that receiving somehow makes us bad because we're so used to giving. We're
Yeah.
so used to providing a service and giving of ourselves very often. We're people pleasers. It's how we got into to healing or
Yeah.
into to service based.
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels uncomfortable. And so selling from your soul is really about shifting the way that we view sales as healers, coaches, heart-based entrepreneurs. And it's about getting connected with your life purpose or your soul's mission and then designing your business in a way that feels completely aligned for
Yeah.
you and allows you to share your gifts from a place of service.
Mm.
Um, and You know, when you do that, and when you design your services or your offers from your heart and soul,
Hmm.
and you give yourself permission to just show up exactly as you are authentically,
Yeah.
those who you are meant to serve are then attracted to your energy. I'm an energy healer. So to me, everything is about the energy that we're putting out. And so if
Mm.
we're offering our services and our products, but we're uncomfortable with receiving,
Hmm.
or we're uncomfortable with money, or money feels weird to us, then our potential client feels that shift in energy, and they take it as, oh, maybe they're not certain in what it is that they're selling. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not the right person for me, right?
Hmm.
And so the idea for selling from your soul came from working with entrepreneurs for many, many, many years and seeing the patterns. Those who were most successful were
Hmm.
leading from the heart and in a service based mindset, and really connected with their mission.
Yeah.
And those who were not having as much success were just looking at what they were selling as, a shake, or, as a 1 hour Reiki service, instead of really leading with the transformation and connecting with what their unique gifts are and what their purpose is.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, it breaks my heart. It breaks
Yeah.
my heart to see these women who have massive talent and massive gifts, who are feeling stuck,
Hmm.
who are procrastinating, or who are not moving forward because they're afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid of
Yeah.
being judged or being seen.
Mm.
And so when we can really tap into, um, your life message, your mission, and see the bigger picture of it,
Hmm.
then we see the sale or the transaction instead of something that we manipulate somebody to get into, right? This kind of car salesman idea, if you
Yeah.
will, right? We then can start seeing it as the door that opens to the opportunity, that invitation to take them into transformation. And it actually becomes a very beautiful thing, a very
Yeah.
exciting thing.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And it's so interesting because, when we talk about these things, like we found each other. I'm not even sure how we found each other.
Honestly, it
It,
probably
it,
fell into a lead magnet of yours or something, but I will tell you, Darlene, it
yeah.
was your energy that pulled me
Yeah.
in. It was your authenticity. It was because whatever you were talking about not
Hmm.
only resonated, it made sense for me. But I gotta say, I think what you were talking about is something that I was already familiar with and I had
Yeah.
already heard multiple times, but it
Hmm.
was the way in which you presented it and your energy that attracted me
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that. And the same for you. Like I believe in that, like the energy piece of what we're doing. And I think one of the really interesting things about that, in the online space with coaches in the online world, and I'm sure you're familiar with it in working with coaches as well, that there's, people get into this like comparison and competition.
Yeah.
And my take on that is there is no competition. It doesn't
None.
exist. Like
Literally doesn't
it
exist.
doesn't exist. The people
Yeah.
that you are meant to work with, your
Yes.
clients, your future clients are already chosen for you.
100%.
And it's just a matter of you showing up in your energy, right? Authentically, and sharing your message and calling them in. And that's always the way I feel about it. Like that. What is your take on that?
Well, one of the very first things I talk to people about is, are you making decisions in your business? Are you operating not just in your business, but in your life
Yeah.
from fear and from our survival self, which
Yeah.
is, um, you know, where there is competition and there's lack and
Mm.
scarcity, and that's my client, but that's my client, and
Yeah.
and self-doubt, which,
Yep.
our minds are programmed to keep us stuck. You know
Oh
this,
yeah.
I talk about this, right? To
Yeah.
give us those sabotaging thoughts, those
Yep.
fear-based thoughts, Or are you operating from your highest self? So are you operating from the part of you that is connected to the true essence of who you are, your soul, your spirit, your highest self? Some people call it your best self, whatever it is that you believe. That is the spirit, right? As opposed to the mind, the sabotaging mind, which gives us all that fear.
Yeah.
And when we're operating from the space of our highest self, fear doesn't exist. Competition doesn't exist. That's where inspiration flows. That's where abundance lives. That's where authenticity is. That's where your gifts are.
Yeah.
And so when you're sharing from that space and from the mindset of abundance is available everywhere. It's available to us at all times. It's a matter of getting on the same energetic frequency as abundance, taking the action that feels aligned for us, that feels authentic to us, and that honors who we are, right? And then learning how to basically control the mind, which tries to sabotage. Most of us are living from that survival self.
Yeah.
And that's where we get stuck.
Yeah. So true. So true. I love listening to you talk. I feel like I can talk with you for hours about the energy, the manifestation, the abundance, and all the things, because I feel like it's the secret. It's the secret to, well, and there is that movie, right? The Secret.
Right.
But there's still
it's magic.
It's magical.
It's magic.
And when you tap into it, everything just starts to flow for you. And you're operating from this completely different space of where it gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. And I just love that is your purpose. That is your passion. That is what you're doing. You're helping people to find that, to tap into their intuition and lead their business from that space.
Yeah.
Really, truly beautiful place to be.
Yeah. I mean, it gets to be fun. It gets to be fun and it gets to be easy. And I think so many times we're so attached to the struggle story, that we think that money has to be hard to come by, or that it has to be a struggle. But when you truly do come into alignment, with your vision and and you live from that energy. I always say, like, abundance, if you were, again, it's a frequency, it's an energy. Okay. So if I want to listen to a hip hop song, right? And it's playing on the radio right now, that hip hop song, but I'm not tuned in. I'm listening to the country station. I'm on the wrong station. It's not that the hip hop song isn't playing. It is. I'm just not dialed in to the right frequency to actually connect with it.
I love that.
And so it's about, if I want to have success in my business, if I want to have loving relationships, and if I want to have health, all these kind of high vibrating, wonderful things. But I'm operating from a space of fear and anger and resentment and shame, and in these really kind of low vibrating frequencies, we're not on the same radio station. Right. And so it's a daily practice to get yourself up there. But once you align, things just flow. They just flow. And part of that alignment is being excited about what you're offering. And one of the main things that when I came to you was that I was just feeling sort of this heaviness in my heart about, what I had been doing and what I had created for the last 8 years, which at one point lit me up like a Christmas tree. And that's why I had so much massive success, because I was so aligned. But then it was time to grow. And I didn't want to let go of that old identity. And one of the things that you really helped me with was to just say, Allison, if you were to just take a blank canvas and just give yourself permission to let go of what you've created, let go of the time and energy you've invested, and moving forward, step into what is lighting me up right now. Right. And that's where all the magic started to happen.
Yeah, pure magic, pure magic. I almost wish I was inside your container because I can feel the
I would
energy of
love to
it.
have you in my
Oh my
container.
gosh. And I know it's just full of incredible women up to amazing
Yeah,
things.
it is.
So, and so I know you have that going on. That's closed right now. People listening right now that are like, ooh, intrigued and would love to get into that. Unfortunately, that is closed. But
It'll be open again. And I work with people one-on-one,
yes,
obviously through these concepts, but
yeah.
yeah.
So we'll make sure we link to your pages of where everybody can find you. But I know you said you had, talking about this energy. I'm sure there's people listening right now that are saying, I want to clear my energy. I want to raise my I want to get on that vibe that these ladies are talking about because
Yes.
that's where I want to be. Like, I know you said you had a special gift to offer.
Yeah.
You want to share about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so I created a tool that I use with my clients.
Yep.
That's very, very powerful and helps you
Mm.
to just really kind of go back to, you know, a lot of abundance also has to do with our feelings of worthiness.
Yeah.
Are we are we good? Are we bad? Are we worthy of having this life? And sometimes if we're holding guilt or shame around something, that can actually block abundance. But there's a lot of different things that can block abundance, and that really affect our money mindset. So if we're taking aligned action and doing all the things, but there's a belief inside that I'm not going to be able to handle success, or there's a belief inside that I'm not good enough, or whatever it may be, fill in the blank, whatever it is for you,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's going to block your success. And so what the energy clearing does is to literally help you to, well, first of all, get into a space where you're connected with all of the abundance that's around you, but then
Mm-hmm.
to go into your own energy field and tap into that space where maybe that belief first came. When did you first learn that?
Yeah.
And how can we shift that on an
Mm-hmm.
energetic level? So not only on a conscious or an unconscious level, but energetically, because we hold all of our beliefs and experiences,
Yeah.
uh, our individual beliefs and experiences, as well as at the collective. And I know a lot of people are feeling that right now.
Yeah.
And so how do we go in there and bring awareness to that? Because we can't shift anything until we're actually aware of where
Right.
it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can challenge it, and then we can remove it from the energy field. So I have an energy clearing for limiting beliefs and blocks, to help open up abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very powerful, and I can leave the link in the comments, or if you want to just let me know, yes, I want it, we can shoot you that, to help you begin this journey of uncovering maybe what is holding you up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely link to that in the comments. And I'm sure a lot of people are raising their hands right now that are listening because that is something. And inside of Soul, like we do that mindset coaching every
Oh
single week
yes.
because
Yes.
even as you reach like these new levels and you step into it, those limiting beliefs, they have a way of resurfacing. So
And they get louder. I
yeah,
mean, you were with me. I mean, I was kicking and screaming for a couple of months, not wanting to
love it.
let go of the
Yeah.
identity. And
Yeah.
so it's almost as if, as you step into your light in a bigger way,
Mm-hmm.
those voices get louder.
Yeah. It's
And
the fear, right? Tries to like creep back in.
it's the fear, but it's also what lets you know you're on the right track,
Yeah.
because it shows up so that you can see where the work needs to be done in order for
Yeah.
you to get to that next level. Because again,
Yeah.
if we're thinking about, we've painted this vision, we want to do something amazing and it's high vibrating up here,
Mm-hmm.
then the low vibrating thoughts and beliefs that don't match that are going to
Yeah.
surface.
Mm-hmm.
And what most people do is they get trapped in those thoughts, and it keeps them stuck, rather than
Mm-hmm.
saying, okay, this is what's coming up for me. This is a gift, because
Mm-hmm.
this is showing me the work that needs to be done in order for me to get to that vision.
Yeah.
And I love that you do that in your program because it's really the missing link for so many people. And it's so critical. It's such an important piece.
It's such an important piece. Yeah. I mean, I know even for myself, like it's something that I had to work through, and it's something I think that will continue to show up for me and for everyone. Like as you achieve your goals and then you're ready for the next thing, right? That
Right.
it's just something that it's part of the process. And I think understanding that, and for the people listening that might be stuck in that right now, and they think it's just them,
Yeah.
they think it's a sign that they shouldn't do it.
No.
It's good for them to know that it's part of the process.
I
Right?
teach people how to actually celebrate it when it comes up.
Ooh, I like that.
Because it's your old identity, your old beliefs, your old patterns, your own thoughts clashing with the new identity, the new beliefs, the new patterns, the new habits. It's where the mind goes, well, we don't know what this looks like because we've never experienced this before. This is the unknown.
Right.
And your mind is trained to keep you in the known, which is the old stuff. And so it's the resistance, but I teach people to celebrate it when it comes up because it means change is happening.
Yeah, I love that. I love the whole concept of celebrating when it comes up. It shifts it takes you out of the, oh no, here we go again, into like, all right, it's party time,
Party time, change is happening.
Yeah. I love
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that you're saying too, and I know is true for myself as well, is even when you know these things on a conceptual level, sometimes even as a coach, you don't see it. Like you don't see it. So I that's why I have a coach, and I think it's like just a really true, powerful testament to like what coaching in general, for the people listening who've never done a coaching program, who've never invested in themselves in that way, like the power of it, like what's really, how transformative it truly is. If you want to speak to that.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to know it. It's one thing to read about it in a book. It's another thing to be in a container with somebody who's holding space for you, and also who's able to reflect back to you what you can't see and gently call you out on that.
Yeah. Gently.
Right? Gently, but firmly call you out on that, because we're so used to the way that we think, and we're on autopilot in our thoughts. They're so automatic that, and then even in the language that we use, that we don't even realize, that's what's happening. And so to have somebody, to hold space for you in that way and to help you to shift in real time.
Yeah.
There is literally no price that is, I mean, you can't even put a value on that.
No.
You literally can't, because you can either try and do it on your own and be spinning your wheels for months and years at a time.
Yeah.
Or you can work with somebody who's already done what you want to do and can really help you to see those nuances and what is keeping you stuck.
Yeah.
And get it up and running and moving in the direction of your dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. So powerful. So powerful. I love it. I love it, Ali. So I want to ask you, and like, and just a little caveat with there too, is like, coaching in and of itself can be a little shocking, I think, for people at first, because we go through our life where, when we're going through something, we go to our family, we go to our friends, and they usually just buy into our story.
They're not who we should be asking advice from. That's for sure.
Right. Because they're going to say, yeah, you're right, you should feel like that. Yeah, you're right, you shouldn't do that. They're going to
sabotage what you want to do.
Right.
And tell you it's not a good idea if they're not supportive.
Right.
Right.
And then when you sit with a coach and they're able to, reflect it back, like you said, in a way that you haven't seen it, what's going on in your own mind, that the power of that transformation is just something. My wish is like that everybody has a coach in some capacity, because it's such a gift for people to give to themselves.
Yeah. And I know you and I work in a very similar way in that we take the tools and knowledge and everything that we have, but we're also very intuitive
Yeah.
and can tap into and sense into what somebody needs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the intuitive
Yeah.
piece comes in. And I know
Yeah.
you are an intuitive manifestation coach as well as a master Reiki teacher. So you're a spiritual guide. You're incredibly intuitive. Do you have any tips for the people listening in terms of how to like tap into? Is there one thing they could do to start to tap into their intuition if this is all new to them?
To tap into their intuition or to manifestation?
Either
Both.
or,
Either or.
whatever you're feeling called to share.
Yeah. So, your intuition is that quiet voice inside. And I say quiet because it gets drowned out by the mind and the thoughts
Yeah.
and the monkey mind, which is just constantly going, going, going.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think of, going to a party and
Yeah.
standing in a room where it's really, really loud, it's hard to hear the person standing next to you because there's so much noise in the room, right?
Yeah.
That's much of like what's going on in terms of sort of this battle between the noise in your mind and being able to listen to your intuition. So in order to hear your intuition, it has to be quiet.
Yeah.
And so beginning the practice of how do we quiet our mind? How do we make space for the intuition to be heard? Right.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people they'll download things in the shower when it's quiet or when they're working out or right before they go to bed and their mind has cleared. It's like all of a sudden something comes to you in the middle of the night. And that's because there's actually space for it to be heard. And so I teach people to just begin with the practice of mindfulness, of being present in the moment with whatever is happening in the moment, like taking time, even if it's like when you're washing your dishes, okay, to be present with washing your dishes. How does the soap smell? How does it feel on your hands? What do I hear? Using all of your senses to start practicing being in the moment. Because when we're in the moment, that's when we're quieting the noise. Even just taking a walk in nature is a great way to do that, but just a meditation practice. So it can be informal in the way of I'm just walking through, the neighborhood and I'm just consciously choosing to be present
and not on the phone, right?
And not on the phone.
Right.
Or sitting in, listening to a visualization or listening to nature sounds or music, but it's about carving out time each day to become present. And what happens is we begin to rewire our mind and brain to stay calm within, chaos. But then to actually be able to hear the intuition, the subtle shifts in energy or whatever it is that's coming up, because we're learning how to quiet the thoughts, quiet the mind this way. So this is kind of a way to sort of start. And it takes time and it takes practice, but it's also just noticing how does your body feel when you're in certain situations. Am I constricted? Am I free? Can I breathe easier when I'm around certain people, or do I feel tense when I'm in certain situations that don't feel right to me? When I go to sit and write my content, if I'm a coach or my email or whatever, am I excited? Am I, in this space of excitement and passion, or am I in this space of like, what am I going to write? And so just starting to like recognize those, the way that you hold yourself and the way that it feels in your body, because your physical body will give you clues into, your intuition. And again, in this context, are things aligned?
Yeah. Love that. So powerful. And it really, those are really powerful things to start doing. And they're simple. Like you could do them right now. It's just coming into that awareness.
Yep.
Tapping into the now.
Exactly.
So, Ali, I am just super excited about what you have already created and
Thank
about
you.
you're so welcome. And I know, you have some other things brewing for what's to come
Yes.
that not quite ready to announce yet. So we won't go there. We'll have to have you back on when you're ready to announce all of that. But
Thank you.
you're so welcome. What would you say to the woman listening right now who is on the fence with joining the Academy, Signature Offer Academy Live, because she's a coach or a therapist and she helps people manage chronic pain, but she's hasn't gone into the online space. She's worked with people, one-on-one, and she's a little intimidated by this. What would
Yeah.
you say to her?
For me personally, making the shift from one-on-one only to being able to scale my message and to reach as many people as I can, and to
Yeah.
be able to really impact, to step into that impact in a way that can reach people who are not in your local area 15 minutes away or whatever, but literally to be able to work with people in Australia and New Zealand and people halfway across the globe who need what you have to offer right now, who are actively searching for solutions, who are struggling. And the chronic pain piece, I can relate to that because I don't even think I said it on this, but I had fibromyalgia and was disabled for 3 years and wouldn't have done anything. And for the chronic pain person to not have to get up and go see somebody in person, but to be able to just from the comfort of my own home in my PJs, log on to the computer and to be able to get that support, that's everything. But I just, joining Soul is going to give you the framework and the confidence to take the guesswork out of like the how to do it. And you're just going to be able to plug in your own unique message and voice and methodology and way of doing things in a way that it's almost like it's like a business in a box, if that makes sense, to help you get up and rolling and getting your message out and magnifying your message so that it's not just, I'm going to help a handful of people. It's I can help an infinite amount of people with my message. And not only is that going to just bring you so much fulfillment knowing that you're helping that many more people, but also from a financial standpoint, you will be rewarded for that effort in abundance. And let's face it, like we need money to do our job and to do it well. If we're struggling, if we're broke, if we can't pay the bills, we're fighting with our spouse, we're living paycheck to paycheck, our energy is low, we're stressed, we're yelling at our kids. Like when that abundance is there, we can be more, we can do more for our family, we can do more for society, we can use that money for philanthropy and things that we want. We can give more when we have more. We can't do that when we're broke. So there's nothing noble about being broke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like, thank you so much for saying that. And I feel like I can go, you and I would love to just sit down with you and talk energy and money.
Virtual coffee.
Because, or wine, either
or wine, even more. Yeah. Even more so.
But, in terms of like what you were just saying, like aligning with the energy of money and abundance and allowing it to flow in, that is something that is, I feel like is a topic, a conversation worth having, because so many people are doing all the things, but they're still stuck in that space that you were just describing. And they're just not sure how to pull out of that,
Yep. So the meditation is going to help you start with some of that. But yeah, it's such important work that's going to allow you to serve on in such a bigger way. And then having Darlene there to really hold your hand every step of the way, because she's so committed to your success. She's there for you come rain or shine, and committed to showing up for you and matching your energy with where you're at and helping you through the hurdle when you get stuck. You know, she doesn't want you to be stuck for very long. I think you even said that yesterday or today or something, you know, post in the group when you're stuck so I can help you move through it.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for that. As far as the investment, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's literally what's going to allow you to begin your business or grow your business in a way that is going to give you the impact, give you the income, but then also give you that freedom and flexibility lifestyle of being able to scale what it is that you're doing, where you can do it from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that. As long as you have a
Yeah.
computer. Yeah.
Right?
Ali, thank you so much for saying that. I'm super grateful for you and for the energy that you bring into the program as well. You have so much to offer the community, so much to offer my community, your community.
Thank you.
And I just cannot wait to see what is happening next for you. And again, I'm super, super grateful. So I'm going to make sure we link to your group. If you want to share, go ahead and share with everybody, like where they can find you, your group name, business name.
Sure. Yeah. My group name is Karma Healing Sisters and Spiritual Entrepreneurs. And I'm Ali Sievewright. You know, my Facebook page, Instagram, Karma Healing Solutions is the name of my business. And that's probably, you know, those are probably a good start. You can connect with me in any of those spaces. And if you want the meditation, I'm happy to get that for you as well.
Awesome.
So just let me know.
Thank you so much, Ali. I know you actually have something coming up next, so we'll say goodbye for now, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much again. So grateful.
Thank you so much for your time, hon. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.